All right, finally back again with another video. Thank you everybody for your patience. I've been incredibly busy, lots of things going on, but at the same time I've actually been working on this for the last 2 to 3 weeks, and I'm hoping that it's going to work out really well for you guys. I think that it gets across the concept really well, but I mean, my original footage was probably, I think it was taken back late May, so it's been a little while. I'm trying to explain in no uncertain terms so that there's no confusion on how to go about doing very consistent and reliable groundwork, just the basic circle, good form circle groundwork. And it isn't an easy thing to do from the ground, because in my mind I actually have something that I imagine from top down. So that's what I've done here. I've taken the drone, I've chucked it up into the air, and then added some extra graphics into it. So without further ado, I'm going to cut over to the clip where I start talking, and I'll be back. Okay, I'm here with Luke, that guy there. I wanted to show, I've been showing a lot of groundwork videos, and I've had an idea in my head for a little while now, because a lot of the viewpoint of the camera is from ground level, from straight on or maybe slightly above, on how to go about doing basic circles and direction changes. And a lot of the times I'll try to explain it to people that you have something, an imaginary area in your head, an imaginary circle, you have an imaginary circle around you, and the horse has an imaginary rectangle around them, and what that sort of looks like for me. So the only way that I can think to explain this is actually to chuck a drone up in the air so we can look down from up high and understand what I do or what I'm thinking about when I'm going about doing my circle groundwork. So that's what we're going to do right now. I'm going to ask Luke to back up for a minute here. Actually, come over this way. Get him to stay there because I'm going to put the drone in the air, and I don't want him thinking about, how'd you get so close?
Take off.
So here we go. Okay, with the drone in the air, let's get started. Now I'll probably have to narrate this separately because you won't be able to hear me, and we can also get rid of the sound of the drone too. Looks like it's on frame, so let's get started. As short as that may be, that actually explains a lot of the stuff that I want to talk about. Okay, so now that you watched that through one time, you can see what it looks like when I'm doing groundwork from the top down. Feel free to watch it again if you're thinking that was awfully fast, because I only did a few rounds, couple of direction changes kind of idea. Now the important thing to consider when watching this is how Luke is moving around me and how I'm moving. Now it's a little hard to watch, I think, without some visual graphics. So I've added in two things. One, what I have, or what I call a safety circle around me. Now my safety circle depends on the horse that I'm with. Sometimes it'll be a little smaller, sometimes it'll be much bigger. Also at the same time, I have a rectangle around my horses in my brain. And I have every expectation they're going to stay within the rectangle that I put them in my imagination. So the only way to get this out, because it's very difficult to do from the perspective of straight on, as you've seen, is to do it from the top down. And I've added those graphics in so you can see what I'm thinking about when I'm doing my groundwork. So I'm going to let you watch that through one time, and then we'll come back and talk about that again. All right, so now that you've watched that through and you've seen how I've got my safety circle around me and Luke has his rectangle around him, it's important to note that I'm trying very hard to not have those two borders intersect. If they do, in this video in particular, either the tracking is a little bit off, I did my best, or he did come into my safety circle, or his rectangle came into my safety circle, and you'll see me push him out and get back into form. So those are really important things to think about when you're doing all of your work around you on the ground, because if a horse is coming into your safety circle, it usually means they're about to run you over or step on you or push you or any of those things. So something to think about. Now, I want you to watch one more time the viewpoint from the front. So the viewpoint from the camera that's on the ground, with the idea that there's a safety circle around me and there's a rectangle around Luke, and we'll come back and talk about the perspective of that and conclude on this whole video. Okay, hopefully that's made some sense to you when looking at it from the person perspective, so on the ground, and how it, when I'm doing my groundwork, how it looks from a top down in my brain. And that safety circle and the rectangle around Luke is just, it is vital. Any horse, actually, for that matter. Depending on the horse, I might have a bigger circle, right? If they're really nice, it might be a smaller circle, they can come in closer to me. And also the rectangle might be tighter for a more educated horse, and it might be a bit looser for a less educated horse. It's not going to vary much, but there will be an allowance to sort of be a little bit outside of where they should be. So when you're looking at it from the viewpoint of a person, you should also be able to see how I use my hands a little bit to get what I was getting when you're looking from up above on how Luke would leave my safety circle whenever he sort of encroached in there. And that might be because I'm going into him, and I might bring my safety circle into his rectangle, but he should be making his way out as I'm doing that. So if you review the ones where you can see the circles and the circle and the rectangle, you'll be able to see how very good he is at making sure that he stays out. And because it's hard to see exactly what I'm doing with my hands and everything with the drone shot, if you look at the video again of me straight on with the camera, you should be able to see some of the movements that I do. I will be making a part 2 of this because it's very hard to explain exactly what I'm doing with my hands and my body. But I will say that if you watch it enough times, you should be able to tell the direction that I'm going in. But I will follow this up with another video soon, I hope. Thank you again, everybody, for your patience and waiting for a video to come out here. I'm working at it, I promise. I've got tons more stuff that I want to do, and I still want to cover some reviews of the live streams that I've been doing for training. So there's lots more information coming for anybody that's interested in this kind of thing, and I guess you guys are because you're here, and I really appreciate that. So thank you very much. Anyways, I'll talk to you guys again very soon. I'll probably see you over on the YouTube channel daily. All right, bye for now.